Even when you're doing something you love, burnout can hit, and things can become stale. With Minecraft, maybe you've just been playing the game for a while. Possibly your projects are just starting to drag a bit. Or even you might have no plan for what is next in your world. I've been playing Minecraft for about 7 years now, and if I'm honest, this happens quite often to me. I find at this time it's healthy to take a break, either from the game itself or from your current project. In the last Let's Play episode, we finished up our starter area. And so I thought it was a perfect time to take some time away from this world to refresh. Well, it's definitely been worth it. But now I'm refreshed and ready for Phase 2. So let's begin. When I started planning out this new phase, I originally wanted to make a clean cut. A new phase meant a new area to me. So I went on a little exploration in the world and found some incredible places, but nothing felt quite right to me. Then one day I thought if Phase 1 was an early settlement, then it would make a lot of sense to continue expanding this settlement out and adding new areas for new eras of our world. We could turn this small settlement into part of a larger town or city build over time. So I made the decision to build on the next island over. There's plenty of land on this island for our plans for Phase 2, and we can even expand over the river into the mainland over time. So let's head back to our settlement and start to transform our new island. Now that we are back on the island, it's time to prepare for today's build. Firstly, like the other island, this is a haven for lovely birch trees. But I preferred adding some custom trees over time. So we're going to remove these trees for now, which will also help us see the island and be able to plan everything out. Then we should make sure this place is well lit up, as we don't want any nasty surprises while we work. After that, we can clear out some grass and flowers so that our island is ready to be transformed. This build is one I created from some reference art I found on Twitter, which I will of course link in the description below. It's a more traditional house style than we've had in this world to date, but I think it makes sense as we move on from the early game settlement into what we in the Western world see as houses. But we're still going to make use of all the birch we have in the surrounding area, as well as mixing in some mud to the main structure of the build. This is supposed to give it the effect that the house was made of brick with detailed coating of the birch colour, but over time the parts that have been birch coloured have peeled away from the wear and tear of the island weather to reveal the mud below. To add in some colour to this build, I wanted to use the warp stem block. I love the bluey green tones that these blocks can add to a build. So I added in a door and some gates and trapdoors as window trimmings, as well as using some off-white coloured glass in the windows to add a bit more interest than the basic glass. The concept art had a little balcony walkway around the build, and I wanted to recreate that in our scale. So I added a small row of slabs with fences and chains holding it up. This helps to break up the wall of the build with some colour and some depth, and I really like how it turned out. With the roof, I really wanted to use the mangrove wood to add in a bit of bright colour to the area. I've never really used it before, and I wanted to challenge myself with the colour choices in this build. I knew that it went well with deepslate, so I thought a deepslate roof with a mangrove trim could look great for this house. Working in some stairs and slabs and trapdoors for height difference, we worked on 2 roof lines. A shallow roof line for the tower on the side of the house, and a steeper roof line for the main building, with a bit more of an overhang and a few more details throughout. I don't normally like to build roofs, but I do like how these ones came out, and I look forward to challenging myself with some more throughout this area. With the main structure of the build complete, it's time to move on to probably my favourite part of every build, the detailing. For this, we start off by adding in some chimneys into this build. Firstly, we have to deal with this boring, plain sidewall, and I took this opportunity to take a chimney on the side with a little bit of a fire pit at the bottom to look like some place that you could cook or barbecue on. For these chimneys, we will be using the stone and brick variants, including mossy and cracked. This should help it stand out from the rest of the build, adding yet another colour in with a bit more depth with these chimneys. Then we add another one into the main roof itself, with a campfire on the top, surrounded by trapdoors. After the chimneys, we add in some window boxes for detailing, mixing in grass blocks and trapdoors, as well as leaves and signs. This adds a level of overgrown nature to my builds. As you know, I love the overgrown feel. For the inside, we kept things very simple. We don't have much room to play with, but I feel like we've got a nice cozy feel going on, with all the basics covered for a livable house. Now, a build is not just a build itself, but it is also the area surrounding it. So we have gone back around the build, building up the land, and adding in a tree and other greenery. We have also started to work on a small andesite and stone path. This can be used to connect the house to the rest of the village in future. But that is for a future episode. For now, I'm super happy with the progress we've made in today's video. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time.